All right. Hello, everyone. How are we doing today?
We are doing amazing. Well, at least I am doing amazing. I know that I am Brittany with Biz Storming. I am an accountability business coach, and this is Sarah with Off the Beaten Path Consulting. We really are excited to be able to work with everybody and have this conversation. Jeanette and Jenny, thank you for allowing us some space.
And I want to say something that's really funny, really quick. So, we've never watched ourselves go live. So, we are now live on the Roku channel and the Fire TV channel. And for like about a 30-second spot, I was like, oh, crud, we didn't go live, right? We did something wrong. But you want to know the best part? Is that we're like ESPN. We got a 30-second lag in case we do something bad. They can turn us off. Woohoo! We're not going to do anything bad though, because Jeanette's watching. So we can't do anything bad. So this leads us though into today's conversation of not doing anything bad to a certain extent, right? And so today's conversation is about testimonials or word of mouth. And a lot of this comes from those social media testimonials that you can give on Facebook and LinkedIn and Alignable and pretty much anywhere now, right? Comments even on videos and things, that people can express their thoughts on your company. And if you've ever went through Yelp, you'll see how funny and tragic that can be for a company, right, Brittany?
Yes. A lot of times, I actually worked for a company that did not pay attention to their reviews.
Ugh,
Um,
gotta pay attention. Gotta pay attention.
I was the manager of that company. I was the manager at the time, and I watched the reviews and I paid attention
Sure.
to the reviews. The owners, however, did not, and a lot of that
Mm.
is because they were they were a resort. People are going to go or they're not. Um,
Yeah, that's true.
and we were kind of lucky because when the highway got closed down, people were at our doors. So they had the luxury of not paying attention. However, at the same time, sitting on luxury of not being able to pay attention does not amount to the quality. So, as the manager, I was able to look and then I was able to make some adjustments on my end of what we were doing to adjust the company or how we present. I will admit
Sure.
I have the best review on there though. So,
Oh, all right. Well, hey, if you can get the best review on there, that's amazing. But this, the people that are watching us are small companies, right? They are either single entrepreneurs or very small companies who are trying to grow. And a lot of them are creating tangible products, right? So you create a widget, and I don't know, I don't even have a widget next to me to hold up. So you create a widget and you send off your widget, somebody orders it online, you mail it off. If they don't like it or it's not the color they expected or something, they can leave a negative message, right? And when you say like managing that or watching that, replying to that is the key, right? That's my first recommendation. Reply to all, as many as you can. And even if it's a negative, out in public on that, reply to it in the public form that they put it and say, what can I do to fix it? Let me call you. Let's talk about this. Let's try to fix it. And it'll show that you're proactive. That's my first recommendation. And I think, when you were being proactive as a manager to make some changes, if you had had the right or the permission to reply to people, you might have replied to some of them too.
probably not in that case, but in any other case, yes.
Okay.
And one of the things to remember, right, is like the reason why we started with that story is because we all talk about those different levels of how you want to apply and be present in your company. And so being present in your company is very serious.
Hmm.
Um, and when you're able to, I love that Sarah said to reply to everything. There's actually working with MyCore and Market Share, they have an app that will automatically reply to all the good ones, but it will email you and tell you to go look at this bad review. Because in that case, having an automatic reply of thank you so much for your referral, we really appreciate this. Those are really great things, and you want to have that point of touch. But that negative review needs the personal touch of, hey, this is something that we want to address. And we understand reviewing and sitting into reviews every day, that's a lot out of your time. So
Sure.
there are tools out there to help with that, but the negative ones, that's where you really want to be able to be present with the customer.
And it's all about your reputation, right? You want people to be able to go look and see positive things. And if they don't see a positive comment, they see a positive engagement with that comment. Um, and the way though, the way around this, and I know Brittany keeps saying being present in your company, but it's paying attention to the details, right? Um, Showing up to meetings with people that you know agreed to show up to, making sure that you follow through with the commitments to people. So you know, if you don't want a bad review, make sure that if you say you're going to get it there by Friday and it's Thursday and you haven't mailed it out, you communicate with them, right? um, you know, and I'm using tangible products here. Brittany and I are more service oriented in ours. So it's a little bit of a different concept of getting somebody something on time, but it's still like we have deadlines also. And so if you have a deadline and you promise somebody something on a certain date, then you need to follow through with that. And I know that sometimes that can be hard because if you are, I don't know, knitting a blanket and everything goes, you know, a little backwards with it and you need to, you know, redo part of it or something, you just need to communicate that and make sure that that is informed to the right people.
Yeah, and a lot of people who are doing crafts and arts and, they're that are at home working, a lot of
Mhm.
those people are working because some of them are working because they physically can't go to work every day. And so
Sure.
when you said that blanket didn't get done, I was thinking my carpal tunnel flared up for an entire day and I couldn't get anything done in this day. And so you were talking about the differences. I had a deadline yesterday that I did not make, and I was told my client, I will have it done here. But like you said, you need to make sure that they're aware, hey, this happened. And sometimes you don't have to tell them my carpal tunnel was bad or
Right.
what you were doing, but you do want to be aware of that and let them know. And it's okay. I want everybody to understand it's okay to move deadlines. It's okay to be able to say, "This wasn't something I was able to do."
Yes. There is that. I am not going to live in a fantasy world, and I know we're live here, and Brittany's going to be like, "Oh no, Sarah." Okay, but there is a level that yes, it's okay to miss deadlines. Okay, it's okay to communicate when you're going to miss deadlines. However, if you're going to run a business, you can't consistently miss deadlines because that's where we're back to that reputation and those reviews. If you become the person that is consistently late or missing the deadline or asking for, you know, that forgiveness, the word of mouth is going to show that. And starting a small business, it's all about word of mouth, right? And you need to make sure that you are showing your true self and giving valid deadlines for things. So, in my opinion, extend your deadlines to begin with. So, if you know that it takes you 10 days to make a lap blanket, okay, I'm making stuff up here. It takes you 10 days to make a lap blanket. Tell them you'll get it to them in 15. And then if you mail it out on the 10th day and they get it on 12, look at that. Everybody's happy and you got it there early and they get to wrap it better for the Christmas present or whatever they're getting it for. Um, I think you only buy lap blankets for people that are in hospitals, so maybe it's not a Christmas present. I don't know. What do you get lap blankets for?
I
Um,
like lap blankets. I've got tons of them.
I like
But
full-fledged blankets that cover like me from head to toe. Those are my blankets. So if anybody's listening, full-fledged
right.
blanket head to toe. I am 5'5", just so in case you're planning ahead. Okay, there we go.
We'll barter for blankets. We
We will
understand.
barter for blankets.
We totally understand the value. We will barter for blankets.
That is
I
a
am
thing. We're starting our own nonprofit, bartering for blankets. We match
um,
people up. Okay.
exactly. So, but you went right into what I was going to, right into the next play, right? So I say, yes, you can go ahead and extend. If you're
Mm-hmm.
extending multiple times with clients, that's going to show up. So yes,
Right.
it's okay once in a while. And like Sarah said, look at your actions, right? Okay, I've had to extend this, this, and this. So now I will need to just add that extra 5 days. That way I never have to extend this again. And it's
Right.
practice makes perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and even then you have to practice more. But what ends up happening is if somebody gives you a 5-star review and they say in that review, the blanket showed up late, but it was amazing. And then the next 4-star review is the blanket showed up late, but it was great. And then a 5-star showed up late. People are going to see that. They're going to use that when they're giving you a referral. And the same with word of mouth. A negative review will get you 10 word of mouths from one person. A positive review will get you one word of mouth from one person. And
Right.
that's a huge thing to really understand. People are more apt to tell people what not to do than what to go do.
Right, exactly. And this is where, just before this, we were talking about movies, right? And she was like, "What did you think about a certain movie?" And I'm not going to call out movies because I don't want to people to judge what we see, uh but the movie, I gave it kind of a review, and she'd heard it from another friend that it got a review. And she's like, yeah, okay, I'm going to wait till it comes out on Netflix, right? Because I'm not going to pay to see a movie that nobody I know really likes. And that's the thing right there, right? If you're getting 5-star reviews, but it's saying it showed up late, that's kind of an review, and you want to kind of tweak it and say, okay, what can I do to make sure that it's not showing up late? And we're using that as our template here of like the thing that can go wrong. But there's a lot of things that can go wrong, right? If you sent something in the wrong color, if you sent something and they put it in the wash the first time and it fell apart, right? Like, I don't know. There's a variety of things that can happen to a craft project. I paint things, right? So if I paint something and I send it to somebody and they say, uh, we threw it in the dishwasher and it basically all the paint came off, I'd be like, well, yeah, I forgot to tell you it's not dishwasher safe, or whatever the case, right? And that would be on me. I would have to make sure that I put that in there for the next time. Now my stuff is all dishwasher safe, just so you know, in case anybody cares.
You
uh,
said that and every crafter cringed because whether it's dishwasher safe or not, we never put anything in the dishwasher.
Here's the thing, it depends. There's certain pottery that's painted that can go in the dishwasher. I wouldn't necessarily put the glass things in the dishwasher, but it can still go. I've done it, and it doesn't fall apart if it's baked properly. Um, so
But with that, that goes into those reviews, that goes into that word of mouth, and really looking at how can I leverage this?
yeah,
Getting testimonials, using your Google reviews, those are all amazing ways to advertise, market. You can build forms and have people give you their photos with their favorite thing and have and ask very specific questions. Sometimes if you ask somebody to write you a review, they don't have the prompts of what to write. And so Sarah and I just did a great video review for newreality.me, and it gave you prompts. And
yeah.
so you had 5 prompts and you just did a video review on it, but you could do that with a Google form and you could get those pictures and things.
Sure, and even more simplified, like taking your Google review link, and if you don't know how to get that, email one of us and we'll send you a quick thing on how to find your Google My Business link or your Google review link. But if you grab that and send it to somebody in an email, you can say, please give me a review and answer these questions, right? And you can very simply do a prompt without having to do a whole form or a video thing or whatever. And you can do the same thing. Can you send an alignable link? Is there a
You
link that says
can
review
send an
me?
alignable link. However, an alignable link would require that you then the person that reviews has to sign on to alignable.
Oh, got it. So you want to, it's alignable to alignable for that regard. Okay.
If you're a
Um,
business to business person, then that's great because you do want people on alignable.
sure,
But
sure.
if you're
Uh,
not business to business, I wouldn't suggest it.
And if you're watching this and you don't know what alignable is, go Google it because that'll take us too long to explain on this particular video. Maybe we'll do one of those, but we're
Jeanette
not
made
doing this
a
video.
business out of it though. So
Oh, Jeanette. Yes,
Google.
she did 100%. Between everything that she's done with her own business, but also with this Creative Spirit channel, it all kind of started from there and grew. So
And in
100%.
all honesty, that brings us into what we were going to talk about next, which was networking. When you're
Oh, sure.
networking, that brings into that business. Who you are and showing up authentically as yourself is going to create people who want to work with you. So Jeanette built a lot of her sales on Alignable, which Alignable is not a sales place. It's a place to get referral partners. And Jeanette knocked it out of the world because she is Jeanette and everybody wants to work with her. Hence
Well,
why
and
we're
you
here.
can, right, and you can get those referrals or recommendations from that networking concept. And so I just wanted to look it up so I had the right number. On Alignable alone, Jeanette has 175 people that have recommended her. That's 175 people that have recommended Jeanette's creative adventures to other people. We're not even talking this Creative Spirit channel. We're talking Creations of the Heart art. And she's done that all through networking. Now we're toting alignable here, but you can network on LinkedIn, you can network in Facebook groups, you can network on Alignable, but there's also a ton of in-person things. If you are, nervous about networking, there are a ton of like BNI and what is the one where you do the speaking?
Toastmasters?
Toastmasters, thanks. It was there and it wasn't. And so yeah, and Toastmasters. So some of those you can actually go watch people and engage with people that do this on a regular basis and start learning and growing your local networks also. And through that is where you get some of these recommendations and reviews.
Yep. I was going to say Meetup is a great space
Ooh,
to meet up in Eventbrite. You can find all kinds of in-person meetings and online meetings.
and
Um,
if anybody cares, Sarah's side note here, Meetup is also the best place to find a book club. In case you were wondering, there you go. Sarah's side note, back to networking.
Love it. Why can't you network at book club?
You could. You can network at book club. Usually you're talking about the book though, and sometimes there's wine involved. So the networking kind of goes off the rails.
But there's a
So
lot
it's
of lap blankets in book club.
there are. Look at that. We come full swing back to the blankets. All right. All right. We're doing this. We're doing this. But no, there are tons of ways to network, right? And I would say my recommendation for somebody who's just getting started on networking is actually on Alignable and you do the speed networking. And you only have to talk to somebody for like 7 minutes and you can kind of get your wording down and how you're going to talk about your business down, and it really helps in my opinion to do the short snippets and then you grow into kind of the longer networking sessions. What would be your first step recommendation for networking?
Well, our very first video, we kind of talked about that, how you want to create that elevator pitch, right? And how
Sure.
you want to really hone in what do you do. So who are you who are you crafting for? What types of crafts do you have? And that is one of the biggest things to have in mind. Um, uh, Jeanette says, thank you for the shout out. It really does kind of take into space who do you want to present yourself as? And that
Sure.
is the biggest thing to hold on to. When you've got your referrals, when you're networking, when you're talking one-on-one, those are the things that you want to really look at.
Yeah, 100%. And that is the first thing people see, right? Or in this case, people hear. And if you're not clear on what you do, if you are not um, confident in what you do, then that's also going to be seen, right? So if you're just all mousy, well, I make blankets and my kids like them, but I don't know, right? If you're doing that, who's going to buy your blanket? You have to be like, I make the greatest blankets in the entire world. And I'm going to send Sarah one so she'll put them on a video and show everybody. See, perfect statement right there. Um, but you get my point. You have to be confident in it. You have to say, like, I believe in what I do and I believe in my art and I want to share it with the world.
Yep, exactly.
So
And it's important to be in that space. When you're in those spaces and you're being who you can be and I mean, we have a lot of introverts who network, and you wouldn't know it
sure.
by looking, but I am an introvert at times. We're both
I
we
have worked from home for 15 years. So I like if I have to leave the house, it's like an adventure. So go ahead.
so you wouldn't know it by looking at us, but we are introverts, and we do, we think about showing up, guys. You
We
don't
have
know
to,
it.
or else we wouldn't do it. Um,
Exactly. But with that being said, there's a lot of groups for introverts where they understand the networking and you can kind of ease into it. And really, when you look at Facebook and crafters, Facebook is a huge space. I get it because everybody on there are the older people that want the lap blankets.
yes,
So
they want the lap blankets.
you want to be in those spaces, but you want to find just 5 places to be. Be present. And this goes with what Sarah's saying. You want to show up consistently. You want to really have the people around you see you and know who
Hmm.
you are. And if you're trying to be in 1,000 groups, they might be in 1,000 groups with you, but they're not going to see you. They're
Right.
only going to see you in the one specific places that you're being specific in. And as much as you want people to shout you out, shout them out. Um,
Yes.
Jeanette put a post up and I didn't even see it. And she sent me a message. Did you see the post? We shouted you out. And I was like, I don't look at them. I don't spend my
But
time there, but my VA
and
does.
sure, sure. And I want to clarify. So Jeanette's like, hey, there's no way you're both introverts. So I want to clarify that there's a couple of different types of introverts. Okay. So Brittany and I have no problem with talking to people, with people, being in groups of people, but we get our energy back by being alone. So like we need time alone. We need like a cup of tea and in a show and be by ourselves to get back to our normal self. Does that make sense? And so there's two different types of introverts. There are people that just don't like humans. We like humans just in shorter amounts of time. And Brittany can, if you could want to dispute that, if you like people for longer periods of time, but I think we're on the same page with that.
I tell people I don't like people at all. So
Well, here's the thing. We do because of our jobs, right? We love helping people. But we do want it to be in shorter periods. So when there are tons of ways though to network in the way that feels good for you. And I feel better networking online. And then I do an occasional in-person thing. Like once or twice a month, I do an in-person thing. And that's that feels good for me. And you have to find what feels good for you, right? My partner in life is the biggest extrovert anywhere. He makes best friends in the grocery line, right? He's the guy that by the end of a flight, he's in somebody's wedding. And you're like, how did this happen? And there's tons of people, and you don't have to be in those networking groups with all the extroverts. So
No, find a place where you're comfortable. And when I say I don't like people, it's the masses, right? I love
correct.
working inside of who I'm working with, who's my core. My people are my people. And then other people are over there. And if they need help,
Sure.
I'll go help them when they ask. But I'm not going to find them.
No, no. And that's exactly it, right? And the networking, the engagement, the connection you make with people, though, is what is going to make or break those reviews, that reputation we talked about at the beginning. So I never want you to be somebody you're not. As you know, Brittany and I we are exactly who we are every day. Like, I'm telling, with maybe a few less swear words, but we are who we are every single day on these videos. And that's what we bring to the table. You want my energy, you want Brittany's energy. That's what you're going to get in a one-on-one with us or a group setting with us. That's what you're going to get. So you shouldn't be somebody you're not just to go networking, because you want to make the right connection for the right reputation.
Yeah. And with that being said, when you are in the right space, you're going to be comfortable. I think,
Mm-hmm.
Jeanette, you and me have been networking for over a year now, almost a year now, over a year, because we were networking before I shattered my tibia, and that was
Yeah,
a year ago. So once you find those places, once you
we're
find
making up words now.
is you actually become more comfortable, and you actually get to be a little bit more vulnerable inside of how you do your business and getting help inside of that. And then with your customers and your clients, you're able to be more vulnerable with knowing who they are. I'm not at my house, but Jeanette sent me the most beautiful little ornament,
Ornament.
my initials. She sent it to everybody. You get to know who you are, you get to know who you're working with, and it allows you to be able to customize stuff. My virtual assistant sent me a dice bag that I can't it says for my D&D stuff. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a dice bag, and she sent that because I sent her a referral. And that's
Sure.
personable to me. So you get to know the people when you spend time with them.
All right, so we are wrapping up here, though. So I need you to do the 30-second version. Go. Who are you? What do you do? Wrap it up.
I am an accountability business coach, and I will help you take your business to the next level with task management and alignment.
Wonderful. And I'm an HR fixer, so I fix all the HR problems that you don't have the capacity or the ability to do. So that leaves us here with our fourth episode, right? Are we on our fourth episode of this adventure?
Yes,
So
we
I
are.
love that you're watching us. Check out all of the rest of the things on the Creative Spirit channel. And you can also watch them online, which is the creativespiritchannel.com. You can watch all these episodes from the comfort of your desk at work while you're supposed to be working. All right, let's run our ad, our closing thing, and we'll see you all for episode 5.
Have a great day, everybody.